Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about maxing out and why it is just so absurd for people to be scared of it if people have generally good form, they're in good shape and everything else. And, this is something I've brought up in the past, but I know coaches out there who have grandmothers and housewives and stuff maxing out every single week on a variety of different movements. And so when you look at that and like the fact, I know a coach right now who owns a gym, full-time strength coach, full-time gym owner, that's whole life revolves around it, for over a decade. Okay. He has really general population clients, right? They're gen pop. They don't necessarily compete in anything. He's got a lot of men and women, both over 50, and he has them, every single person at his gym maxes out on the squat, bench, deadlift, and the high handle trap bar deadlift, right? Those four movements. He has them all max on it, and every person who attends his gym, their maxes are put up on a board on the wall. They compete with each other on it, everything else, okay? His people do not get hurt. He doesn't have clients getting injured, and they all do this, and they do it competitively with each other. All right, this is what training should be. This is something that I point out all the time. Doing max work weekly isn't just for powerlifters. It's quite frankly ideal for general population people because it's about force production. Strength is the most important factor. It's the basis of all your athletic movements. Yes, endurance matters for a lot of sports, but if you get stronger, even your endurance ceiling can raise. In other words, if you add 100 pounds to your max squat and you're a cyclist or a marathon runner, it will actually improve your times. Slightly, not dramatically, but it will slightly improve your times on these endurance events. Right? This is understood. Look at what my friend Alex Viada does with his hybrid athletes. Okay, keeping in mind he deadlifts 700 pounds and he does ultra marathons and triathlons. Okay, is a 700-pound deadlifter. He's obviously jacked and lean. Again, because he's like a 400-pound bencher too. And with the energy turnover he does, the guy tends to be at a very, very low body fat with what he does. He eats junk food just to maintain weight, even at like 8 or 9% body fat. But that aside, look at that. He has his people do powerlifting training who do endurance events. He runs them on conjugate, a variation of conjugate. Look at his website, you'll see that. But that's kind of the point, guys. This is how people should be training, right? It's the only reason people are scared of maxing out is because of high school football and a bunch of kids who don't know any better, who aren't being supervised correctly, jackassing around in the gym and getting hurt maxing out with the worst form imaginable. And even then, the injury rates aren't super high. They get way more hurt playing football than they do with their terrible form maxing. But that weight room mentality of a bunch of high school kids in a competitive environment without good supervision, who don't have good form, that is the entirety of people's fear. That is where the cultural fear of it comes from. Right? We have data showing that bodybuilders and hypertrophy training benefits from doing a heavy single first. Okay, there's studies on it, showing it. And if you look at quality of life, strength matters. Yes, muscle mass is a big factor, but muscle mass is how we build strength. But if we really want to look at your ability to function in the real world, and that's talking about even these grandmothers, strength. And we get strength through muscle mass first, but the maxing out gives us intramuscular coordination. Okay? It teaches us better coordination, teaches us how to shift our bodies against awkward loads so that if we do have to pick up something really heavy, we're used to doing it. If we're forced into an emergency situation where we have to grab or pull something or push something really, really hard, we're already used to doing it. We know how to do so in a way that doesn't hurt us. Okay? This is training for the real world. Maxing out is training for the real world, and we don't have to do it all the time. You know, how much maxing do most of my lifters and myself do? Around 5% of our weekly training. 5 to 10% at most. At most 10%. The only people who are doing 10% are people doing double maxes with low volumes. Okay. Most of my clients, it's around 5% of our training, but we do it every week. We max every week. I know a lot of other coaches who do that even with their Gen Pop people. I don't work with as many Gen Pop people. I have a lot of power lifters, a lot of athletes. But even then, a lot of my athletes are not the sports you would think. It's been golf, tennis, basketball, right? These are a lot of what I coach. Yes, I do have a little bit of strongman, Olympic lifting. I have one of each. Technically 2 strongmen right now. If we look at past history, even though one of them's only powerlifting now, he's done strongman events. I have an Olympic lifter. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a number of powerlifters, but I have a lot of fighters also. BJJ, which you guys see the vlogs with, MMA, boxing. Former boxers, Michelle right there's a former boxer who powerlifts now. But the idea here is the same though. Everyone needs to be maxing, right? It is not going to hurt you if your programming is good. If you're getting hurt on maxes, it's because you're maxing like a jackass. Notice everything that we do, it's all smooth, it's all clean, right? It's thoughtful, it's focused, it's in the moment. If you learn to do that and you learn to use good form on things, maxing is safe. Okay, maxing is safe. And it's productive and it's useful. It will give you tremendous carryover to things that you will need in the real world in a variety of situations. It will improve your athletic performance. It will reduce your risk of getting injured. Again, it will reduce risk of getting injured. A lot of people who, built a lot of muscle, they get hurt doing various endeavors, but it's like if they had maxed regularly and they were used to awkward, heavy loads pushing against the tendons in their body and were used to bracing correctly against maximum exertion, where they're having to exert themselves maximally, would they have gotten hurt? Would they have gotten hurt when that couch shifted slightly that they were carrying? Hey, one of my bros got hurt really bad doing that. He's a coach, actually, and a doctor. He got hurt pretty bad moving a couch. We're talking about a guy who can bench a lot. Talking about a strong guy. Fully developed top to bottom. Too much focus on bodybuilding, though, for a while, not enough heavy lifting. Not enough heavy lifting. So, we come over to the point of that. Everyone should be maxing, in my opinion. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.